David's Top 5 Fighting Games.
Hey guys, now it's my turn to give you my top 5 fighting games. Now, my list is a little different from Chris's. He likes some of the games more for its technicality. I like it. I like my games more for its aesthetic look to it. Anyway, onward.
Number 5.
Okay, my number 5 pick here is SNK vs. Capcom for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Unfortunately, I do not have the box, and there is no way to actually connect this to a TV. I'm sorry. The footage you're looking at right now is probably taken from my Xbox original Xbox, and because I got a Neo Geo Pocket emulator on that thing. But that's besides the point. So, okay, what really drew me to this game is the mixture of how SNK and Capcom fighting styles mix. You know, it has a little bit of Alpha 3 mixed in with a little bit of King of Fighters 98, and it feels really solid overall. It does take a little time to get used to because it uses 2 buttons instead of 4 or 6 on their respective arcade counterparts where these characters come from. But it's still a solid game, no matter what. It does lack a little color. I think characters can only display maybe 4 colors at a time. Backgrounds is a whole different thing. The backgrounds have been squished somewhat, but that could be forgiven. It's on a portable, for crying out loud. What's neat though is the fact that they got backgrounds from they got backgrounds and background music from various titles such as the original Street Fighter, Street Fighter Alpha, King of Fighters, Fatal Fury. It has a really good sense of atmosphere, and it really adds to the experience. I really hope that SNK and Capcom could somehow release this on either the 3DS or some other, or PSP or PS Vita. It's one of those games that has to be played on portable. It's not really a good console experience if you ask me, but on portable it gets the job done. If I have to say anything, it's probably the best portable fighting game out there. But that's my opinion, and that's why it's my number 5.
Number 4.
Okay, next on the list, my number 4 is, well, can't read the Japanese, but it's Fatal Fury Special. Now, what really drew me to this game, this is actually the first SNK game I've ever played in arcade. What really drew me in is the supers, the desperation maneuvers that each character does when their life bar is less than a quarter away from being gone. And oh my god, I was totally amazed at the damage and the coolness and just the appearance of how a super looks like. That this is, believe it or not, I think this might be the first game to actually have supers. We could debate on that. I think this was released like early '93, and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo was released like late '93. I'm not 100% sure. I have to investigate that. But anyway, I saw a super being done on this. It was actually Kim's Phoenix Fury. Oh my god, I was psyched, like, whoa, it had this. It had, not only that, but it had changing levels as each match progressed, like from round 1, round 2, round 3. The actual day, the actual appearance of the level changes. You'll be fighting in the morning in round 1, You'll be fighting in the afternoon in round 2, and then at the evening on round 3. And it added a bit more, you know, I don't want to say realism. Well, I guess I'll say that. It added a bit more realism to the game. You know, seeing the season, seeing this, not the season, seeing the day change like that was totally awesome. Gameplay-wise, it's very similar to Street Fighter 2, I would say. A little bit more stiff, but you know, nothing too difficult. If you play Street Fighter 2, this is a really easy game to pick up and play. Has a great cast of characters. You got your Terry Bogard, Joe Hagasashi, Andy Bogard, Mai Shirinu, Kim Kap-Hwan, loads of bosses, Geese Howards, Wolfgang Krauser, an awesome cast of characters. I do recommend buying this. If you don't want to pick this up on the Neo Geo, because it does get kind of expensive, I admit that. One of the only reasons why I bought a Neo Geo was because this wasn't available on anything else. But you know, it was available on Super Nintendo, but you know, that's something else. But you know, but I picked up a Neo Geo because of this. You could find this. You can find a Neo Geo fairly cheap for around $30 to $40, since you know, since it's kind of old. But however, if you could also purchase the Fatal Fury Battle Archives on the PS2, play it that way. You also have a choice of downloading it on XBLA for around $8.99, $12.99. I'm not sure, but somewhere around that price range. Not too expensive. I do recommend it, and like I said before, it's a really easy pick up and play game, especially if you played Street Fighter. The controls do feel a little stiff, but after about half an hour, you won't even notice the difference.
Number 3.
Okay, if you guys wondering why I'm holding my Xbox 360, well, it's because the next game on my list did not see an actual physical release. It's Super Street Fighter 2 HD Remix. Well, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. They gotta shorten that somehow. SSF 2 Turbo HD Remix. Damn, they gotta shorten that. Anyway, didn't see physical release. Only available as a download. But what they did to it was totally awesome. They updated the graphics, updated the character sprites. They remixed the music, and they basically brought it up to 720p standards. Totally cleaned this game up. I totally love it for that. They kept the same frames of animation. That's good, because you know there were some certain people back in the day that kept the watch on the frames of animation to pull out their combos and maneuvers. So that's a good thing. What really makes me like this Street Fighter above all others is the fact that, well, I'm a big Guile user. If you guys seen any of my videos so far, I use Guile a lot. I want to use him more, but you know, he's one of those characters that has been very limited, that has been nerfed as time went on. And of course, I could see the reasons why. In Street Fighter 2, it was a very damaging character. But you know, I think they significantly nerfed him. But in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, they kind of like, how should I say, they kind of make him work. They made him into a much more playable character, especially against other people. And to me, I just love that Super Street Fighter 2 HD Remix because of it. Anyway, you could buy this game. I think it's still available on PSN XBLA. I do recommend Arcade Stick because without it, well, you don't necessarily need Arcade Stick, but I do recommend Arcade Stick just so you could get the arcade feel. Anyway, onward to my next one on my list.
Number 2.
Okay, number 2 on my list, Guilty Gear XX Action Core. This is a PlayStation release, of course. You see, the footage you're looking at right now is actually from the XBLA release. Costs around $12.99, I think. Anyway, onward to the game. What really drew me to this game is its music. Not so much the fighting mechanics or anything of that sort. It's pretty much the music. It is totally awesome. A lot of hard, heavy metal inspired tunes, some rock in there. And what I liked about the best is actually that some of the characters are based off actual rock stars, like Axl Low is based off Axl Rose. Some of the characters' moves, such as Kai Kiske as Ride the Lightning, is pretty much a nod towards Metallica. It's like neat little niches and things like that really they make me really like this game a lot. I don't really have much to say. Fighting mechanics is pretty easy to pick up and play. To master it's a whole different thing, but it's not difficult. The learning curve is actually pretty easy. In half an hour you can pretty much learn how to play the game. Cast pretty nice sizable cast of characters. Very unique. I've never seen characters like this before. Looks like they ripped them out of a manga or an anime, pretty much, which might be another reason why I like the game. Anyway, like I said before, you could pick this game up either on XBLA, PSN, for usually around $12.99. It's also available on Wii and PS2 in a physical retail release. Excuse me. Although trying to find them is somewhat difficult. I found this PS2 version at a local mom and pop store. Somewhat difficult, but if I were you, I would just download it on from XBLA or PSN. Anyway,
Number 1.
bam, right there. King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited. Well, actually, what you're looking at right now is King of Fighters 2002 on a Dreamcast. I don't have Unlimited, in a physical copy because, well, there was only a physical copy in Japan and on a PS2, and I'm not about to shell out $40 to $50 just to show you a physical release. Instead, what you're looking at right now is from the XBLA version of the game. Now, wow, I gotta say, I totally love King of Fighters 2002. It is my most favorite fighting game out of any of them. Where to begin? Well, I'm gonna start off with its huge roster. We're talking about 66 characters. 66, that's the biggest out of any King of Fighters game. You got characters from Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, Ikari Warriors, Psycho Soldier. The list just goes on. And every character is really unique, and there's no clone there's actually multiple versions of Kyo, but they play differently. I gotta point that out. They play differently, so that you have that. And I gotta tell you, the music, awesome music. It's been rearranged from the 2002. Now you hear new music, and I gotta say it's awesome. Anyone that hears the Japan theme soundtrack, the Japan theme OST, I gotta say I totally love it. Maybe it's one of the top 5 fighting game soundtracks I've ever heard. That's totally debatable. I may change my mind later on, but I gotta say it's great. Now, I gotta point out that this isn't actually an update from King of Fighters 2002. Several characters have been retweaked, given new moves, new supers, certain button presses such as whips when she pulls out her Cold Python and blasts at her opponent. Although that sounds cheesy, takes about 2/3 of life, I think. But no. In King of Fighters 2002, she had like a similar to how Akuma pulls off his Raging Demon. It was pulled off in a similar manner in King of Fighters 2002. In Unlimited, I think it's like a quarter circle back, half circle forward. It's been made pretty easy. Fighting mechanics have been like retooled, reworked. It's really deep. There aren't any infinites like how they were in King of Fighters 2002, or none that I've discovered yet. But it's a really deep gameplay. Anyone that's seen my combo videos from a few weeks ago know what I mean. That is just the tip of the iceberg. We're talking about like hundreds of thousands of possible combos to discover, and it's just that deep. You could pick up this game on XBLA for around I think $12.99, or if you really want to play a physical copy, you could download. You could import it on a PS2 for around $40-50. That's how much I usually see it for. I really wish this ends up on PSN or possibly on a handheld console, or available in any other console, because, well, my arcade stick on Xbox is failing me, but yeah, that's beside the point. Anyway, this is David from Calling All Gamers telling you, well, this was my top 5. Really different from Chris's. I'm more of a SNK guy. Anyway, our next video is going to be, well, it's mostly just me and Chris doing commentary on our fights. Anyway, catch you guys later. Have a good one.